Battery 40%. Connected to. Call from Handy.
Yeah, hang on. My phone is in stall mode. Um,
Ron?
yeah, you're live.
All right, everybody. So I'm just doing some recapping here. I posted GDC, against this $6 number, it popped over, went to 618, and it's 593 to 598 on 198,000. There was no selling. There's huge short. The rumor of the 50 million at JP Morgan that's been around for 8 days now. Someone is definitely trying to accumulate it. I don't know if it's them, but that's what I heard. I also heard that Fidelity has a problem, a failure to receive. Means Fidelity investors bought the stock and are not getting delivery of the stock. So that gives Fidelity a problem. So that's how it works. Fidelity could be giving an order to buy it in to JP Morgan. I don't know. That's how, they hide their names a lot. Everybody does that. That's a common thing on Wall Street. People don't like people if they see the same pattern, the same buyer come out of the same place every day, they can all follow it. DJT all of a sudden is popping up. I put up, it traded 6 million shares. It's only 11:30 already. The average volume, the 90-day volume is 6 million. It's already traded that. And it's up $1.25. I posted the other day on Twitter, it's right there. Devin Nunes said he would not sell shares until it gets to the short squeeze trigger number, which is like $48, $49. It was 54, but it keeps going lower because they're selling stock down here. These guys all thought that the registered shares that these guys have registered are going to go out and just dump them. So the shorts sell in front of it. That's how Wall Street works. They front run the shorts, front run anybody who wants to sell. They knocked it all the way down. All right, and here it is. It's finally turning up again. The last 2 days, it's went from 17 something to 1927 already. There's a long way to go on the upside. We're 49 days away. Why would you do this? Short, sell it down low, and when it starts to rally, you're going to see a story today. DJT, it's up 3. The stock soars. They put that out because it gets everyone the opinion that the stock has run and that that is the trade. They try to get people to sell. So the stories should really always say DJT's up 3. It's not up 3, but if it goes up 3, they should say it's up 3, but there's a long way to go. They never say that because it's down from 40. Why doesn't it say it can rally back up? Because they don't want to give that. They don't want to let people to know that they are. Hold on one second. They don't want people to know that there is a lot of room, so they always try to downplay that. So saying the stock is soaring is a way of trying to get you to sell or take a quick trade. That's what they want to do. All right. So again, 41 trading days to go. Find your stock, whether it's Kodak with 1 billion shares, Tesla with 1 billion shares short, Wolf with 1 billion shares short, Finger Motion 230, GDC 100 million. It just goes on and on and on. Find whatever you think is is going to be your play. I think it's life changing. You got free information, free inside information from Donald Trump and Pat Byrne, what they're going to do. Never before have I ever seen that before. That's like IBM telling you you're going to take over XYZ tomorrow. They're telling you today. We probably all fucked that up too. That's how crazy this Wall Street is. It gets. Why would I be the only person to know? You start looking around. That's how it works sometimes. You get in, you don't even understand why you're there, and all of a sudden they take off. But I do think there's shit happening in the back offices. I think shorts are getting panicked around because all of a sudden it's like GME ran back, 4 points back to 25 almost. It did hit 20, almost 24.80. I did hit 25 yesterday, and that was down to $18 the other day. So it's either somebody, I don't know why they're pushing it up on earnings, whatever they're doing, but the stocks have a different look. And these are stocks these are not, technology stocks. These are stocks with big short positions in them. And, I don't know how big it is in GameStop anymore, but these stocks are rumored to always have shorts and, you name it. So these stocks all seem to have a different look. Most of the time, we have the look of death, right? Every time, every stock we're in, it's always market down, market down, market down. Now they're not being marked down anymore. They're starting to go the other way. And there you go, GDC again through 6. Once it holds 6, it starts to move firmly above it. The last run was to 12. The last high on the big squeeze was 44. So again, pay attention to this name. Okay, I don't own it. I did. The easy money was made. For those that are trading it, all right, I'm just giving you bullshit about what I see and what I think. That's all. All right, you make your own decisions on that one. Again, the easy money has been made, but that doesn't mean you can ever not look at the stock again. So I'm just telling you what I see. DJT, I still think there's a ton of room to go on this name. Devin Nunes said on the Wise Guy show the other night, Sunday night, I reported it. I never got the video, but he said that they're investigating the naked shorts in DJT. John Tobacco said in DJT he believes that the whether they're Republicans or Democrats, whoever it is, they're trying to punish Donald Trump and they don't want him to get access to big money. Because if the stock was to go explode, Trump can sell his shares that he has. I don't know how many he has, 30 million of them. Imagine him selling at $300. All right, he'll make a ton of money, and they don't want him to get rewarded in any shape or form. One person said to me, I thought you said it should be squeezed before the election. Well, I'm giving you my opinion. It makes total sense that Trump get it done before, because if he's in office, all the other side's going to yell, oh, he's doing it to help himself. All right, and that's why I believe he should do it before. That's how I see it. If you don't believe in that, then it's something I can't help you with that. That's how I see that. Because anything he does, he's always attacked. So I figured he'd do it before. So the chances are he's going to do it now, or he's going to do it right after the election. We have 41 trading days to go. All right, that's how I look at these things. William, did I miss anything? I'm just trying to, before I get to finger.
I can't think of anything.
MLSS is doing nothing. There's nothing to say. It's up, down, a penny here, there, a penny there. Highs at 104, back to $1. Nothing going on. When it goes, it goes. I talked about GDC. I talked about DJT, GTII. We got to wait for Richard Hoffman. For those people who own it, okay, the biggest holders that I know are funding the lawyers to get back the company and get a merger partner in there. Richard Hoffman will keep us up on it. He puts up great videos every day. He takes questions. Feel free. It's a legal thing. It's not a stock trading thing, so I can't do anything about it. There's 500 million shares short, and if those who don't understand it, we have the proof from the Depository Trust and the SEC in a court document. It doesn't give you the number, but it tells you a massive short position or concentrated short position. Okay, that's information that anybody can see. And if anybody who is, I understand if you're long and you're losing money, if you like, take that information to an attorney and start your own lawsuit against the SEC, the DTC. There's proof right there. I don't have the money or the means or attorney to do that, or the time to do it. So if you want to do it, if you have somebody, help yourself. You can ask Richard, maybe get a group together, but I do not have the money to do that. All right, I'm not here for that. So that's what I see there. Let's go on to finger motion now. William, there was a I guess a hurricane in Harbin, China. I think it was in Harbin.
It's called a typhoon.
Was it a typhoon?
That's what they call them over there.
Right. It said, it is Hainan, China, after a typhoon. The water and electricity were cut off, and Chinese people were desperately wanted to charge their phones. They're all waiting around trying to get their phones charged, because it's a cashless society. So I'm just trying to show everybody, finger motion is tied to this, where everyone in China needs their phones, and they're showing you how attached and how they need their phones for everyday life. The same thing will happen in the U.S., but we don't really care about that because we're doing business in China. So everyone needs their phones. Everyone needs to be in business with their phones. Data from their phones. Finger motion has the hands to it. And you can see, I retweeted it on Twitter, the desperation of everybody wanting their phones. They're not looking for food. They want their phones. So the phone is everyone's lifeline in China. And they're not going to go back from it because that's what the Chinese government wants. The U.S. government wants that too. People don't use cash anymore. I see everybody using their phones or their credit cards. So we're going to a cashless society, and this is what it looks like when everything collapses. Everyone wants their phones because they need their phones. Finger Motion is in the phone business. They collect data, they sell minutes, they sell text messaging, they sell insurance. That's their business. It's all directly related to the cell phone. And the cell phone is single-handedly the most important thing. As you can see by the video, I have nothing to do with it. It's right there. I'm just looking at common sense. And Finger Motion is the leader in China in that industry. All right? It's not growing at 200 miles an hour. It grows, and it just keeps on growing, and it's endless growth. All right? And they are positioned very well in China. You can read it by the press releases. William, did you ever reach out to the CEO about having a conference call?
I told you I did.
Okay, so you did, and he said what?
He said, "Screw you and the horse you came in on." No, he said he'd be glad to have a call. He just can't do it at this time. He'll let me know when he can.
And that's all you can expect from a CEO who probably has constraints on him by his attorneys. You can't say this, you can't do that. Or maybe they're in the middle of something. We don't know. But we tried, and he'll get back to William when he can do it. That's all we can ask
He was
him.
very kind and very generous with his, welcoming my inquiry and saying he'd be glad to provide an interview for all of us. But he just can't do it right now.
So he'll get back to you when he can. You let us all know. That's just the way it goes. All right. Remember, the shorts just hit a sell button. The CEO has to do filings. He has to obey the laws, right, William?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it means that he's in some sort of quiet period and he just can't talk right now. I hope that's what it means. But,
right.
They're very careful, and you got to be thankful for that.
Right. Now that's because that's what they have to do. On the other side, they could sit here, they could send stooges in here trying to bash the stock. Listen, when people start to get negative, that means we're over the target. Something is going to happen. I can feel it. I just don't know the day. And there's GDC back over 6 again. Remember, I told you my friends bought about 120,000 below 570, I think it was. All right. There's professional people here, and they're looking to squeeze these guys. So again, that's the way it goes. I'm not doing it, but those people are. This is a pros game right now in the stock. Owning one share, if you wanted to play, just to see how it pans out, I would take a shot on that. You buy one share at $6 if it works. You said, man, I was part of a short squeeze that really went to the moon. Why didn't you buy more? Well, you did the first time you made money. You can't get rich on you're not just going to throw a dart and get rich. All right, that's just not how it works. It is like the lotto, though, William. You got to be in it to win it, right? That's how I always look at it. All right, you want to sit on the sideline. If you want to sit on the sideline, you're afraid, you buy one share. This way, you're in the game. You can see it, understand it, and imagine actually being in the trade and actually seeing it work and being part of it. That knowledge or experience is just, you can't get that in business school. Let's say you bought it at $6 and it runs to 20, you sell it at 20, it pulls to 15, you could buy the one share back. It runs to 30, you sell it again, you buy it back at 20, sell it at 60, buy it back at 50. And that's just one share. And you can have fun doing that. And you can understand how to trade a short squeeze for one share. So if you wanted to do it, there it is. It's in motion. Everybody knows about it. It's in play. Same thing with DJT. There it is. That was 1966 now. It was up $1.30. Now it's up $1.64, William, on 7.8 million. To go up 30 cents, there was another 2 million shares traded. It was 4.7. Now it's 7.7 almost. Where's all the stock coming from in this company, right? Everyone's just buying it and flipping it. Hurry up, buy 1,000,000 shares at 1950, sell it at 1952. I doubt that's what's going on. But anyway, the games, there's things going on. You can sense it. You can feel it. Again, I like the stock of finger motion. Why? Because it's good doing nothing sideways. The risk is out of it. That's how I like to. I look at trading patterns that have the least amount of risk. I can go buy 1,000 share in NVIDIA or Tesla. I don't know if it's going to be up 12 or down 12. And I'm not in the business of trying to get wiped out, buy 1,000 shares and lose 12,000 in a second. All right, that's not what I do. And I don't advise anybody to do that. It's very dangerous because you can get wiped out. I don't care if you got $10 million in your bank. You start losing $500,000 at a clip. Believe me, the money disappears quickly. All right, so just be careful in doing those things. Playing small, learning, and educating yourself, that's the way to be. You start out with 1 share, then your next thing you're buying 100 shares, then 1,000 shares, then 10,000. And that's how you learn to do it. Just don't jump in. If you want to buy 10,000 of anything, you buy 2,000 to start, and you work in. You average your way down, because if the stock goes down a little bit, you can average in, or you can average up. Either way. At least you got some buying power. You hold back some powder, and this way you're always in the game. If you buy 2,000 at 5, it runs to 6. You could sell 1,000 at 6. If it pulls back to 5, you buy the 1,000 back again. And it just, you got the same position, but you lowered your cost by $1. And that's how you have to think about it. All right? And you get those opportunities all the time. Any questions, William?
Apparently, Gary Gensler said that the shorts never covered in GME and AMC. I don't know.
He said that where?
I don't know where. That's from one of the listeners to you.
I think it's great, but how come the stocks are not reacting? If he said that the shorts never covered, then who bought the 120 million shares that the company sold? Who did the company sell the 120 million shares to?
DJT's 1917. Fidelity customers are having problems logging in. Saw your video on TLO. Put a limit buy at $1. We'll see if your prediction bears out. I don't think I predicted it would go to $1. I mean, there's always a chance in a drive down, but that was months ago. Months ago. Now, if I predicted TLO, it looks like it's going to break through its IPO price. My experience, once a stock breaks through the IPO price, it goes up. It goes up.
Well, it did that before, William. We went to 21. It opened at 7, went down below 4, then turned, and then it screamed to 21. It did it all in one day, back down. So the shorts lost control for a little bit. They came back down on it and still holding on. It spiked yesterday to 695, and they pushed it down below 6. Why would a stock with very little holders in it have this type of volatility? Think about that. This is like a hockey game, this stock, or up, down, it's all over the place. It hardly ever trades. What's all the activity? Well, that's the sign of a short that's in trouble. That's why they create that volatility. And I told you before, volatility in finger is gone. There's nowhere, they're pushing it nowhere. There's nowhere to push down anymore. There's nowhere to go. At some point, big buyers are going to step in, and they'll clean it up. That's just how it works. People see that. People are watching the stock, know that when the stock volatility comes out, and which it has, then there's no selling, which it doesn't. The next leg, it's going to move up. That's how it works. While we're waiting for the special dividend to get approval, whatever's going on with the SEC, right? It's been a while now. We're waiting for that. The next thing, we got the company's earnings coming out in October, you said, William. Mm-hmm. And we got the special dividend, we got the earnings, and then we have what? 41 days to the election. Pat Byrne gets in there. I put up the video this morning, William, where Pat Byrne discusses that Goldman Sachs is nothing but a stock loan or a stock lending company. That's all they are. All their revenue comes from stock loans, 75%. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
I put the video up. Pat Byrne used to give speeches like this all the time, roasting Wall Street, roasting them alive, exposing their crimes. Goldman, Merrill, he took on everybody. When he gets in to the Trump administration, when they put him in, he's going to destroy these guys. The only thing he wants to fix is stock settlement. The only problem I have is stock settlement. And that's everyone's problem. Stock settlement leads to security fraud, manipulation, and that's what we have. Anything else, William?
No.
I keep laughing at K&W traded down to 26, and somebody keeps trying to hold it up. Remember, if you just go look at all the toxic loans that this company has given out in the last 3 months. They just recently did another one for $5 million, gave them all stock at 20 cents and a warrant, a free warrant. I forget how many they got at, right around here. There's so much stock these guys need to get rid of. It's unbelievable, but they don't want to sell it down because once it tumbles, none of them get out. So they're trying to lure people into buying it. And I'm sure the company will come out with some good news trying to help them out because they can't get out of their position, everybody. They want to sell their stock and have a free warrant. That's what they want.
I see. So
When
this
you
guy's...
want to have that, William, when you like to do that in 10 stocks, give everybody $5 million. You get your money back at a few bucks profit. And then you get an equivalent of free warrants. So if the stock ever does work, you get a free shot, except for the shareholders that are buying in the open market. They just get the stock. They don't get any warrants.
Mm-hmm.
No questions? Everybody sound asleep?
Cirrus XM is merging with Liberty Cirrus, so it's up, I guess, quite a bit. But there was a 1-for-10 reverse stock split, reduced the outstanding shares from 3 billion to 339 million. So, you can get excited by stock moves, but they're all as a result of destruction by the shorts and
Sirius Radio had billion shares years ago. It was $2 trading that.
And they just take bad financing. And it's hard to get mad at the CEOs, but I'm not sure CEOs should be experts. They don't have MBAs necessarily. And they're not they're not Wall Street types. They get stripped. They get FUX'd by Wall Street.
Hey, William, I did say before DJT would be up 3. I was making believe it's up 202 now. So we're getting close, right?
Did you trade it?
Meanwhile, now I'm turned into Kreskin a little bit here. I'm predicting the future.
If you traded it, I would believe it. Otherwise, it's all just backward.
I actually had
I'm teasing you.
I had a bunch of friends this morning. I had them buying it yesterday and this morning. So if I'm following it, is because I'm watching it for a reason. So again, I put it up 2 days ago. If anybody wants to check it on Twitter, I put it up. Devin Nunes says he would not sell it down here to cover the shorts. The shorts all thought that the insiders were going to dump it, and they are not. And the stock, I said, is going to turn. I posted it. It's right there. And there you go. People saying Fidelity they can't get into.
Yeah.
But again, the shorts knocked this down, kept selling it. I referred to it based on your call. I told you it was the same thing in Facebook. When Facebook went public at 38, spiked to 42, then went to 18. It was the worst company in the world. The insiders sold. They were allowed to sell. That was the first time they were allowed to sell for being years in the company. They all sold it at the bottom, and then the news came out that this was the best company in creation, and it's never stopped going up. How's that one?
Well, it's
pretty good.
The timing would be good for some news on the dogs, news on the rats, and news on human beings, too.
Well, again, let's look at it this way. Andrew Left postponed his trial a year. Obviously, he's working with the government, giving up people. Anson Fund out of Toronto is giving up probably everybody under the sun, including the CEO of Canaccord. Canaccord has been notorious naked short selling gateway into the U.S. for a long time. It's been well known. It's about time they caught that guy. And that guy probably knows Lynn Partners, Savvy Management, all the devils. They all did business through Canaccord. Canaccord was allowed as a U.S. company, as a foreign company had access to the U.S. equity markets. I don't know how, but they've been selling counterfeit shares into the system for a long time by these finance guys, you name it, naked shorts, all going through Canaccord. So again, these guys are all going to start tumbling. They're all going to start ratting on each other. And Lynn Partners has been out there giving money for a long time. Also with that Armistead, I told you that name. Armistead is another toxic funder. Them, the Kramers, Savvy Management, and all those other names that you see all the time. They're all over the place. It's free money. All you need to do is go to a trade show and get a CEO who's an idiot and tell them you're going to finance them. And you're really financing them with their money. These guys have no money. They're using your money.
That's right.
That's how they do it. As soon as you say you like to get money, they already start. Once they meet you, they're already starting to sell the stock because they want to test and see what kind of support your stock has.
Right.
If there's some buyers in, hey, how many shares we sell today? Well, the stock's 3. We sold 300,000 in 3 days. Yeah, $3. All right, so we got $1 million. Tell the CEO we'll give him $3 million tomorrow because you already got 33% off the table already. The CEO says yes. They say, okay, we got to go get the paperwork. And then you start, then as soon as they say that, they already got 50% or 70% of it done, sold. So let's say the day they give you the money, they already got 2.7 million that they have already from the investors. They send over 3 million. They got 300,000 invested. Then they come out with the wonderful news that they've funded this company and we're pleased. What does Phil Lavalier always say, William? What's his term when they fund the company? What's he say?
We're terribly pleased, very pleased. We're pleased
Right.
to invest in fill in the blank company at this time in their development.
They always say the same thing. We're pleased. They're excited. We can't believe we got this deal. This is great. They already sold the whole company already, and they're only giving you your money, your shareholders. They're giving the money they stolen back to the company. That's what they do. And there you go. As soon as you say it, they're there. As soon as you make the phone call, they're already doing it already.
Right.
What else we got, William? Come on.
There's nothing
Anyone
else.
want to talk about what a great guy Jeff Easton was? He shorted RWLK. RWLK is Rewalk. It's like EKSL. They make a robotic and helps people that are handicapped walk. And I put a photo of a young girl that was handicapped, learning how to walk again, her first steps again. And I said, these guys killed companies that help people like this walk, and they don't give a shit just to steal their money. Nice guy. Nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to listen to people say he's a nice guy. Sure, he's a nice guy. He's got plenty of money, throwing parties. He's doing everything with all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not stealing from my family. I keep telling you that. He's not. I'm not letting him go. I'm going to do everything in my power. In 25 days, I'm going to see Pat Byrne, and I will give him the whole thing, finger motion, soup to nuts, everything, including the dividend, everything they're doing, where they stand, who's the short, when it started. I have it all documented. And there it is, GDC. They're offering it 500 shares at 6 again. They got to keep it below. They're in a panic here. They're using like a pillow trying to knock it down. Hurry up. There's no buyers here. Hurry up, offer it down. Hit the bid. Offer 400 shares. It's always something for sale. I've never seen stocks. Stocks don't have sellers every second. They don't have buyers. They don't have sellers every second. But once the stock starts moving up, look at DJT. All of a sudden it starts moving up. It's traded 9 million shares. Only 6.7 million a day average. Now we're up to 9. Up $1.86. Where's all the volume come from all the time? I guess every shareholder in the company who bought it turns around and wants to sell it, then buy it back again, and then sell it and buy it back again, all at the same spot. You know there's long-term holders in these names, but the stock buying doesn't show you that. It's nonsense. Come on, William, wake up these people.
There isn't
Anybody
anything else. People are saying good morning to you, and thank you and all that.
No, they don't have to thank me. I'm just trying to teach you, understand it. I can't follow all the names, all right? But names that I follow that I think have a trend that's going up. I knew VJT had that trend, and that's why I reported on it, and that's what I told my friends about it, and that's why that's why I talked about it. GDC, we spoke about it last week after the bear raid down from 7 down to 730 or 740 down to what was it, 550 or something like that. That seemed like a good spot to step in. It has. It's slowly turning. It's popped back over 6. And now the battle begins at 6, trying to hold it down. Because then the uptrend continues, and they don't want that.
Somebody wants your opinion on MMTLP. I don't think your opinion
Zero.
matters. But
I have no opinion on it. It's way past my bedtime on that one. Meaning I want it to work out. I think it's a great case. I introduced the West Christian to the company. I've done everything I can, but I don't own it. I have friends that are in it. I think it's a disgrace. It's almost 700 days of nonsense. The SEC is a disgrace. Gary Gensler, right to your face. We don't know. We can't, it's got this other company. We're not sure. They're full of shit. Listen, you guys busted them when you got the Freedom of Information. And what they're doing is they wanted to go to courts, drag it out, have some of your investors die, people give up, silence you. That's all they're trying to do. What did they do? They went after the messenger. John Berta got in trouble because he issued a dividend that they approved. They approved it. And they're issuing him because they know the dividend can force a short squeeze. Well, holy shit, we all figured that out already. It's okay for these guys to kill companies and steal our money, but when you fight back, you get in trouble. Gary Gensler is going to be fired day one by Donald Trump. I know people don't like Donald Trump. I really don't give a shit. One guy told me, you have no right to tell anybody to vote for. I'm not telling you to vote for. If you don't vote for him, with you and your family, you're going to have to answer to your kids and your grandkids on why you're financially strapped, and why you can't go on vacations, why you can't do this, because you lost all your money in the stock market, because it's not fair. That's what you have to face, and I had enough of it. We have the opportunity now to get the man in power that we need, and that's Patrick Byrne. So if Patrick Byrne's in there and there's a monkey running as the president, I don't care as long as Patrick Byrne's in there. But the only person offering it to Patrick is Donald Trump. So that's the only way we're getting him in. That's what I want to see happen. Nothing else that anyone's going to do besides our safety, which is also important to me and my family, is stock settlement. I can make enough money, okay? I can make enough money day trading. Everyone on this phone cannot. I can't make any money in long-term investing because the market is complete fraud. And we're all going to lose there. So if it comes down to trading, I will survive. You won't. If it comes down to investing, we all survive. It doesn't make a difference. Republican, Libertarian, Democrat, doesn't make a difference. White, black, Greek, who gives a shit? I want to make my money and then go out and spend it and enjoy my life. I don't want to sit here defending an investment. How many people bought a stock and it said that, hey, after you invest, you got to get on conference calls and listen to these idiots every day and try to stop security fraud? Where does it say you have to defend your investment? That's what we're all doing. We have to defend our investments because no one else is protecting us. That's what we're doing. Think how stupid this is. I'm going to go buy a stock and then I'm going to go on message boards and defend it 24/7 because there's creeps trying to steal my money. That's what we're all doing. We're all doing the same stupid thing. Because no one wants to stop him. But we now have the guy here to do it. Devin Nunes is standing up for us. Donald Trump has got Devin Nunes standing up for him. We got Pat Byrne that's going to stand up for us. He's the only guy that can stand up for us. If he doesn't get in, I'm selling and moving away, and I'm going to get a day trade. That's what's going to happen. Finger Motion can survive. Other companies cannot. That's how I see it. Finger Motion really has nothing to do with Wall Street. They don't need their money. They don't need their business. Zero. They can't submarine it. They can't undermine it. They can't do anything. Once the company starts releasing the data numbers that they're doing business with Munich Re and Pacific Life Re, game over. Once they start announcing numbers on that new truck deal, the emergency vehicles, game over. Telecom, there's so many things going on. Yeah, I'm not concerned about a $2 stock. If it was 20-something dollars, there's a lot of risk. At $2, there's no risk.
So how can Morty educate himself to see stock turns and all the signs which you have internalized?
I keep bringing it to your attention all the time. You know, I posted yesterday about Donald Trump. Listen, there's a little tidbit of news. The shorts were using the insiders registering their shares as a point to sell the stock short. That's what they were doing. They were using that little slither of information to attack the stock. And Devin Nunes said that he was not going to sell stock down here. He wants to sell it north of the short squeeze trigger number. So that number is 49. The stock is below 20. So once it stops and the volume dries up, that's the turn. And there's the reason we know they're not doing it, right? GameStop sold the stock to the shorts, and what this stock was 29, it went straight down to 18. Now it's turned, but again, it's turning for the wrong reason. It's not the short squeeze stuff because they covered the shorts already. The people that sold GameStop out from 29 down are people that realize that the short's covered. All right, it's very different. Just that little piece of information. Finger motion, I look at it this way. It's going sideways. It pops up a little bit, pulls back a little bit. What's the pros and the cons? The pros, we know there's a special dividend. The pros are there's 41 days to go. The pros are that there's a huge naked short. It may not be 230 if you don't think. Maybe it's 110. Maybe it's 50 million. If it's 20 million, how are they going to cover? We traded 34,000 shares today. We know there's 1.5 million real shorts. That data you can see every day. That number comes out September 12th, the updated numbers. There's another positive. All right, we're waiting information on revenue from Top Up, revenue from the insurance data business, the new truck business they have going on. There's so many new avenues of revenue coming into this company that they just started out with. What's the negative? That Trump doesn't win and that the naked shorts are going to continue and Gary Gensler is going to look the other way for another couple of years? That's the negative. But the company doesn't need Wall Street anymore. Eventually, it'll dig in and it'll go. If the company didn't have their revenues and no business, then I wouldn't trust it. But it does have it. And William's trying to get the CEO to come on a conference call so that we can show new institutional investors right from the horse's mouth where he stands on, hopefully this week or next week on different subjects. And William will, poke him about it and we'll get the answers, whatever he can answer. Because everyone seems to have a short-term memory. He doesn't want to go back and look exactly what they're doing. The press releases are right there. They just said they have a nationwide contract to install some technology in every emergency vehicle in China. I don't know how they got the contract. They've been working for a while on it. And, they're working with one of the biggest state-owned automakers in China. that has $1 trillion worth of assets underneath it. Finger Motion got the contract. So obviously they have the right connections, and and now they're building out whatever the government requires Finger Motion to do. Finger Motion has somehow figured out how to do it. So they're in the right spot. They have their connections, which is always great. And where are we going? It's a $2.05 stock. That's short 230 million shares. When it goes, it will change your life. That's 100% how I feel. I don't believe it's going to, once it starts going, it's not going to stop. The real short, again, if you want to write the number down, he's short an average about 260, 265. It was 3, but the cost to carry the real short position, he has to pay fees all the time on each share that he borrows. So each day they're losing money. Whether it's a penny and a half a week to, let's say, 2 cents a week, that's 8 cents a month. It goes down, it goes down, it goes down. That means the most they can make is 265, and I'm being lenient. I think it could be below 250. When the stock popped to 318, how fast did they attack it to get it back down? Super fast. Why? Because the real short was in a panic. So the naked short had to come out there, and his big brother had to come protect the real short. Hurry up, get it down before I get bought in. And that's what they did. So they're willing to sell it lower to all of us here because they're protecting the real short. If the real short turns around today to go by 1.4 million, the stock will be $10 if the naked short is not selling. That's how fast it's going to go up. If the naked short is no longer selling, the real short will ignite the short squeeze. Once he starts it, the 1.4 million, he's going to buy in first, absolutely. Then the naked short will follow behind it. Imagine a stock with no selling, how fast it goes. I watched Root, the reverse stock. Root went from 6 to 100. Go back and look. It was happened maybe 6 months ago. It was going up every day, $6, $7 a day. I posted about it. Every day I was watching it. $6 to $7 a day until it squeezed to 100. I'll tell you exactly where it went to. It says 86. Excuse me, it was 86, $87. That's where it went to. It went from 7 to 87. And it's still $36. All right, so when they get squeezed, that's how they just keep melting up. And it's so funny, I just hit quote on Finger Motion, hardly trading, but there's always 100 shares to buy. Always only 100 shares to buy. And there's always 300 for sale. So this tells me there's a buyer around, they're hiding the buyer, and the seller, they're just trying to make it look like they have more troops than we have. That's all they keep trying to do. It's going down. There's only 100 to buy. There's 300 for sale. That's their pattern. Classic patterns. It's always the same way. GDC, 100 shares to buy, 600 for sale. 600 shares at $6. That's the selling on the stock. They try to manipulate the stocks lower using the smallest amount of shares. They don't want to sell it lower. They want you to sell it. That's the game plan. DJT went to 2010, pulled back to 1939. If it breaks 19, I would advise my friends to start tiptoeing in as buy the dips. Obviously, my friends who probably paid 17, 18, 18.50, maybe 19 when it went to 20, I think they're pretty smart people. They know to flip it and come back in and buy it. Buy the dips, sell the rips. You can see the patterns setting up for those type of trades. That same thing could be said for GameStop. They push it down. Now it's down 46 cents. It spiked to 25 the other day on I don't know how many millions of shares. Maybe another 20 cents, 15 cents down. It'll stabilize and then it'll move back, and you'll get your 50, 60 cents trade back up again. So buy the dips, sell the rips. You start seeing the patterns. And remember, it goes to different stocks. It's not just the same stocks all the time. You can go around. You could study. Maybe it's Costco today. Maybe it's NVIDIA. I don't know. Whatever it may be. But you get a feel for it. If you're nervous, when you go to buy a stock, you go to buy 1,000, you buy 200, then you buy 200 down another nickel, 200 down another dime, 200 down. And this way you average in. So when it turns, you have an average price, and you're not, a lot of times you buy stock and it goes down 40 cents. You say, oh my God, then the stock rallies 40%, 40 cents, and you're even. A lot of times when I do that, when they come to even, and I was down 40 cents and they get to even, I will sell my position to reestablish it, saying, okay, I paid too high before. Let me wait and see if it pulls back again. And sometimes they go, or sometimes they pull back. So, you can always adjust your position. Don't be afraid. No one's going to bite you. Breaking even is a good thing on Wall Street. Learn how to do it. Break even, reestablish, and say, okay, I like GDC. I don't like it at 6. I like it at 550. So I bought it at 6. I break even at 6, and now it's 587 to 590. Even if I bought it back at 587, it's 13 cents cheaper than I did before. And you can still be around to catch the upside. Even if it's a dime cheaper, I sold it at 6. I buy it back at 590. Why not? What's the difference? It's 10 cents in my pocket, and I still got the same position. You can trade like that. People trade for pennies, nickels, dimes, anything. Try it. You may like it one day. You're in stocks for a short period of time. Finger motion is not a trading stock. It's not moving yet. Finger motion is an accumulation stock right now. Once it starts to break, once it starts to do like a DJT, which is 17 back up to 21, almost 20, we're at 20 today, that's when you can trade them. You don't trade it when it's not doing. Don't think you're going to buy finger motion at 205 and sell it at 240 this afternoon. It hasn't moved yet. The game hasn't begun. Once it begins, then you can play the game. So I look at finger motion as you got to be in it to win it. It's not ready to go yet. It could be ready to go in 2 minutes from now. I don't know. I believe the shorts are going to be in a panic because there is no selling. Everyone's educated. And each day we get 2, 3, 4, 500 people that understand finger motion more and more. I spoke to 3 people this morning at the pickleball park that own it. 210, 215, 230, 205. They all understand it. They ask me questions. Why is this not going? I always tell them, be upfront with them. I show them photos of the criminals. I show them information on how they operate. And they all get it now. And they're not panicking. And guess what they do? When the stock starts to turn, when the stock starts to run, they're all going to say, should I buy more? Oh, should I buy more? And I'm like, why didn't you buy it when it was doing nothing? Go read what the company does. I always show people videos of the CEO. The CEO tells you everything. The stock is being held down unfairly. We all know that. It's being held down because someone can't afford the margin, because if it goes up, they're dead. But the good thing is that help is on the way. 41 trading days. I can't wait to change the number to 40. It's at 12 o'clock. We got another 4 hours to go, and it goes down to 40. Right? 15 days, I'm going to go see Pat Byrne. I'm going to set up the call with William on his new system. What year is that computer, William? It's got to be brand new, right?
Well, it's older than your granddaughter. Grandson.
But again, we'll set it up. William's going to set up a call, and we're going to get all the kinks worked out, and we're going to bring on the guy that's going to be leading the charge to save all of us. And like I said, Pat Byrne is a libertarian, and he's going in to save all U.S. investors. He tells you there's bad actors around this stock, unsettled trades. He told you with Goldman Sachs where they make all their money from. Goldman makes it there. Fidelity makes it there. IBKR does it. Jefferies, that's where they make their money. VIRT makes the money by naked shorting because they pay for order flow. That's all they do. When Donald Trump gets in, VIRT will be a zero. It has no business. All it does is trade on order flow. no one's going to pay for order flow unless they can steal money from the people that are buying and selling. No one's going to pay for it anymore. It goes back to the old days. Everyone's going to need a trading desk, or they're going to do it electronically, but no one's going to be taking the other side of the trades. Wouldn't it be nice if you bought stock, William, in a company that you read the tape on? You say, oh my God, this is great news for XYZ Corp. And you buy it, and everyone figures it out after you already invested, right? You got in first. William figured out the news. He paid $5. He got in XYZ before anybody else because he read the news on the tape. And all of a sudden, everybody figures it out after William, and they all start buying it. Before you know it, the stock is $9, and William says, thank you very much, and he makes his $4 a share because William was rewarded for getting it first. In Finger Motion, I got in first, and the stock is down 33% because I got in early. No other reason. It got in. Since I got in, the company's gone from, a small cap bulletin board company, got listed on the NASDAQ, has contracts, has revenue, has raised money, done everything proper. And the stock has gone down from 287 to 205. For what? Because I got in early? But like a Michael Burry, this stock will pay off. I know I'm early. I know it's ugly. Same thing like he said in the movie is happening to us in Finger Motion that been in here. All right? And that's how I see it working out. Getting in early is hard. I agree, because you sit around, you look and say, I'm the first one in here. Where is everybody? We all say the same thing. Believe me, I've gotten in stock sometimes where I got in early, and the stock started to go, and I'm like, is this it? No one else is coming now. Let me get out. Then all of a sudden, everybody comes, and boom. And guess this? I'll give you an example of a stock like that in the video. Right? It went from being a nothing company to being Wall Street's darling. Right? Everybody loved it. Look at the 52-week range. I forget what number it was at, but the 52-week range is 39 to 140. I think they split 10 for 1, William, so we multiplied that by 10. Is that what it was?
I think it was 10 to 1.
So it's $390 to $1,400.
Well, it was over 1,000, wasn't that stock?
Yeah, $1,400. So it's $1,400 was the high equivalent. So at 390, it was just a good company. All of a sudden, their new chip came out, and now it's, if you got in and you saw it coming, you made a fortune. That's because they got in, it wasn't doing anything, and then finally the news came, and that's when it went. William, I added a new tool to my pickleball game. If anyone plays pickleball, I now serve using my backhand, backhand smash. As hard as a tennis player can hit a backhand, that's how I serve using a backhand. But I only do it from the right side of the court because I can hit it straight down the middle along that line in the middle. So on the receiving box on a tennis court, William, I hit it right down the middle on that line. And I forced the opponent to use his backhand, which most people don't have. I got that off my chest, just to give you a little...
Fascinating.
That's... I thought you'd find it fascinating. It's up your speed. It's tennis talk, right? It's just tennis with a different type of paddle. Yeah. Jesus. You're nasty. You're very nasty today, William.
Is there any recovery? Is there any time you can recover from a stock doing a reverse split?
No, that's a tough one. Root did it, and it went back to $87. But still, I think my friend was down 75% of his money still at that point.
I say no. Once that happens,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Two things. One, the CEO and the board are listening to the liars on Wall Street. And right. Secondly, there's just so much of an avalanche, you can't put the snow back up the mountain.
They in the stock ROOT, they did the reverse for one reason, which a lot of companies do. The shame because the NASDAQ said they're going to be removed from the NASDAQ because they don't make the $1
Who cares?
$1 price target. You have to be $1.
Right.
Now, if you and so the company to hold and make sure they stayed about the one, they did the reverse,
Right.
and that's the beginning of the end. Now, GDC got the same letter, and that's when I told everybody, William, you can remember, I said, hey, these guys are going to make an attempt to get it back over $1. All right, the company has to do something to get it back over $1 to make sure they don't get delisted. What did the stock do? It went back up to $1.20. So I was correct about that when the news came out. And from $1.20, then it spiked to $2.20, and then they tried to push it down to $1.15. And I said, next time it breaks $2.20, it's going to take off. It went straight through $2.20 to $12. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly. So again, I look at GDC again. It got to 6. They push it, pop through. They push it back down. Once it firmly gets above 6, excuse me, that's when it's going to take off. Finger motion. I don't know the number, but I think it's 3 where we popped the last time. But I also think it's 265 this time. 265 is when the real short shits his pants and he panics. Each day they sell down here. As you can see, the real short, which we'll get the number on September 11th. Remember, it's 1.45 million, 1,450,000 shares. Let's see what he's doing. He's not covering because we have no volume. It's 30,000 shares. Where's he covering? And that's why we follow it every day. We're watching fraud in slow motion, but we can actually follow the crooks. You don't get that. You don't get to do that much. It's tough to follow the crooks and DJT or whatever because the volume is so great every day. It's hard to follow them. Right? Remember MULN was trading how many millions of shares a day? 30 million shares. Now it's trading 30 million shares. It's 15 cents. What's the CEO going to do? He's going to reverse it again, right? If I was that CEO, I issue a dividend immediately. Whatever dividend I would offer the weirdest, craziest dividend. I actually had him trying to offer people a special dividend, like a coupon off of a car, like a $3,000 special discount coupon only to shareholders. I think it was something like that. And this way, the shorts can't deliver you that dividend, a coupon dividend. If you want to buy a car, you would get the dividend straight from the company, a coupon with your name on it. And the shorts couldn't deliver it. That's what I believe we spoke about, something like that, way back when. But he did nothing, and now look where he is. Just think about it, people. If you were the CEO of the company, wouldn't you do something to save your ass? Do anything. But these people don't do it because their lawyers tell them, oh, you can't do that. Don't do anything different. You'll get in trouble for it. Well, now he's got a 16-cent stock. Everything he's worked for is going out the window. All those shares he gave himself, $50 million worth of stock, worthless. What did he give him to? All he did was get a headache by giving himself the stock, right? Everybody on the street called him a creep. And he never even sells it. So what'd you take it for? And that's what I advise. Anybody ever knows anybody going public, don't be stupid. Don't take the stock. It's a waste of time. Nothing, William? You got anything going on?
Do you think naked shorts will start covering after
Yes.
Trump wins?
I think it's going to be, I think you're starting to see the beginning of it. I think you're starting to see the beginning of it. Because all of a sudden they're panicking in DJT. What's the panic? They were selling it down yesterday to $17, whatever it was. What's the panic all of a sudden? Let's hurry up and cover. Why?
Why do you like
GameStop.
MLSS?
Do I like MLSS? Yes, I do.
Why?
But it's not because I like the symbol. I have no idea. I told you what it was. Something about there. If you want to Google it, go Google it yourself, and you'll see they do something with an epidural. And I'm told they're getting a contract from the government. It's a monster contract from the government about the use of their epidural. And my friend said the stock's going to 10. That's all I know. I think they use epidurals for women having babies. It's a new technique or something like that. That's all I know. And the person that tells me has put his money where his mouth is. And people that are good investors that do a lot of research, sometimes you follow me. He did all the legwork for me. So it's like Goldman Sachs telling me. That's how I look at it. It's a small stock. It's got money in the bank. It has institutional investors. It's a real company. So up and down, if it spiked to $1.08, then it went down, then it went to $1.04, and they pushed it down. Whatever it is, it is. I just don't know the timing. I think the timing is shorter than longer. So you sit and you wait. Any other stocks you want to ask about?
No.
I would try
There's
everyone
ML. I don't know what this is. MLGO.
MLGO. That was that crazy Chinese name that people were saying that was it went to 30 or something like that. Then they smashed it back down. I know some people were buying it around 54. I did not get involved in it. I'm watching it. That's all I know.
Do your friends buy in the dark pools, or do they buy when your
I don't.
friends
I couldn't
buy
answer
stock?
that
Do they
question.
use dark pools?
I don't know. I never asked. My conversation is, hey, I like XYZ. What do you like about it? Like this. Okay, I'm going to go buy some. That's it. I don't ask any other questions. Who's your broker? How much you pay commission? Do you buy in dark pools? I don't care. Listen, I'll go over that again with you. When you buy a stock, does anyone really give a shit who sells it to you? I don't. I don't care if it's the dark pool, the man on the moon. I don't care anybody. But when it comes to settlement, I want my share delivered for what I paid for it. Stock settlement is the key. All the nonsense that you're seeing has been around for a long time. Jeffries used to have a company called Instinet. It was the same thing. It was a dark pool. It was a place where institutions can cross stock. It's from institutions to institutions. That's been around for a long time. It's called a dark pool now. Who cares? Every time they do those crosses, though, or wash trade, these guys, if it's in the same accounts, they should be paying a fee, a big fee, for washing the trade because it is an illegal transaction. They're either doing it for more settlement time, or B, to create volume, the illusion of volume in the marketplace, which is fraud. All right, so those are the things that the government needs to watch for. But for the most part, everyone, and I don't care who sells me the stock. I could care less. Whoever sells me the stock better deliver it. That's what I care about. Pat Byrne is coming for stock settlement. Settle the trades. All these little loopholes go out the window. All these things go out the window. If a market maker is going to sell short by the market maker exemption, well, he has to cover the stock and not stay short forever. All right, that's what they said. That's the big concern. These guys have been selling stock and never covering. Pat Byrne will eliminate it. He knows. He understands what they're doing. You want to sell it short as a market maker, Citadel? You got to cover it within 24 hours after you sell it short. Trust me, they'll stop doing it. No one wants to get short. Imagine being a trader on a desk and you are watching 50 stocks as a market maker. I watch 50 stocks. When the orders come in, I make that determination if I want to short it or just go buy it in the marketplace, right? Right now, these guys short everything that comes in. every order that comes in, every 50 stocks that I have, anyone who buys the stock, I'm shorting it. Anyone who wants to sell it, I let them hit the bids because it pushes the stock down. When you have to settle the trades, anytime someone goes to buy a stock, you're going to think twice about shorting it because you know you got to turn around. Eventually, you got to buy it back in the next day or two. Trust me, the market makers will be taking a different look about selling it short. And when someone goes to sell a share, they don't drop their bids. They will take, if they sold it at 210, they'll be buying it back at 205, which is real market making. You sold it short at 210 to facilitate an order. You buy it back at 205 to cover your short, or 209. That's how market makers used to do it. In today's world, they sell everything short and they don't have a bid in anything. There's no bids. It makes it look like there's always 100 shares to buy and there's always 10,000 for sale. That's because the market makers are all short and they don't want to show any support in the stock. They always want it to be negative. I would do the same thing. Why would I make it strong? I'm short the stock. I'm going to make it stronger so I can hurt myself. They won't do that. Does everyone understand that market making that I just went over? Any questions before I move on?
No questions.
So that's the game. So you really don't care about the dark pools. As long as there's stock settlement, the dark pools, that doesn't mean anything. People are going after payment for order flow and dark pools. I don't care who they sell my order to. Whoever sells it, when my stock, I go to buy 1,000 shares of stock, whoever takes my order pays for it. The only reason they're paying for it because they want to see if they could short it. That's the only reason. Eliminate stocks, you enforce stock settlement, and that will go away. William, I just have this crazy gut feeling, and this is my own feeling, people. Again, I smell death soon to the guys in finger motion. I see it, I smell it. I've gotten calls from people that want to start buying size. They're waiting for the CEO to say something again. It's not as quiet as everyone thinks it is. I know everyone thinks, oh, it's so quiet, it's so quiet. I think there's a lot of talk going around that this is going to go. So I don't know when it's going to go, but I just got this feeling, and I'm not even worried about it. I believe the gang is going to come running them over shortly. Because listen, why am I going to go chase GameStop? Why do I need to chase the GDC? These things already had moves already. There's a lot of risk in those names. And I just think that the conversations that I'm having with people, that is getting closer and it's going to pop. So I think we're right there. Remember, the first level is 260, 265 by the real short. It could be 250. Remember, every day that goes by, they lose money. That real short. He has to pay to borrow shares. Each share. He doesn't get to borrow shares for free. He has to pay a fee. Now, I don't know what the rate has been, but it's not easy to borrow these shares. So he's paying at least a half a penny a day. Half a penny a day is 2.5 a week, right? It's 10 cents a month. That number drops quick. Now remember, 1.5 million shares, the most he can make is $2.60. Next week it's $2.50, $2.40. The trade doesn't even make any sense. No one would allow anybody to do that. The only reason someone is short is because they're tied to the naked short and are being told what to do. But again, soon they'll break rank. The real short will cover first, and then the naked short will cover. That's why we follow the short on September 11th. We want to see what they're doing, but I don't need to look at the data. I can see they're not doing anything. They're just sitting here. Everyone's just sitting here. Each day they sit there, they lose money. Both parties, the naked short and the real short. And I can't wait to go play pickleball this afternoon to use my new serve, William. F you.
Good on you.
If you stood in the court, I would definitely hit you with the ball. That's it. Got nothing else to say. I went over market maker, went over dark pools, I went over payment for order flow, all trash, stock settlement. Ease is the most important thing in the whole stock market. Nothing else. Nothing else is not even worth it. Trading stocks. The most important thing is stock settlement. No stock settlement, you don't have a fair, orderly market. All right, people, it's 12:43. I'm going to change the clock. We're going to be 40 days before you know it. I told you my gut feeling. I think finger motion is going to rock and roll shortly. That's my gut feeling. Nobody else's opinion. That's my opinion. I think GDC, once it gets firmly above 6, I think it takes off. DJT, I think, is in play. All right, you get your spikes, pullbacks. You can sell the rips, buy the dips. The pattern is set up again. All right, the pattern was set up the other day in GameStop. All right, GameStop, the low was 23.64. I think 23 and a quarter to 23 area. If you want to buy the dip, that would be a safe spot to do it. All right, another quarter lower. You can see it stopped trading here. Nothing going on. If you wanted to play it, you could buy, if you're buying 1,000 shares, you buy 200 at 23.80. This way you own something already. But if you think it could have possibly go a little lower. So you buy 200, then you buy 200.
Call from Bond Cipher.
23.20, you get a 25 and a half average, a 23 and a half average. And that's the way you play the market. And this way you average in, you can average out. And this way you're involved. If you want to buy the dip and sell the rip. Again, it's not just GameStop, DJT. All these stocks have these same patterns. You just got to go find them. Just happened that this is what I'm studying. All right, everybody. It's a beautiful day. And I'm looking forward to going to play ball this afternoon. So, anything else? That's it? No one has any questions?
That's it.
September 11th, the real data on the real short. Remember, market down. Look, it's 1,450,000. Does the number go down? Does the number go up? I personally think it goes down just a little bit because I think the data is a little bit delayed. So we could be around 1,320,000, down 100,000, not much. But still, that most of it is fictitious anyway. And I remember, the real short will cover first, then the naked short. They're working together. They're in collusion together. We know that for a fact. GDC firmly above 6. I think it could take off. The last time it went to 12. The last time before that was 44. All right, it's 100 million shares. Find your stocks. I think there's life-changing opportunities going into the election. Remember, Kodak has 1 billion shares short. Tesla, 1 billion shares short. Wolf has 1 billion shares short. GDC's 100. Finger Motion's 230. Go on and on and on. There's plenty of names out here. All right, you can't play them all. Maybe you want to do maybe do 20% in one, 10% in the other ones. Maybe you can find, like myself, I'm in finger, I'm 100% here, but I monitor the other ones, and that's how I'm looking at it. I'm staying what brought me to the game, and I'm going to finish it. That's how I look at it. And I told you, 25 days out, I'm going to go find Pat Byrne, give him the book on finger motion, because I think Pat Byrne would really like to understand everything that he's ever done. Finger motion is doing exactly to the T. The playbook is right there. Other companies have not. And when they have not followed the program, you get a Mullen, GNS, CEI, gone, crushed, wiped out, all of them. Don't follow the playbook, you get crushed. Anyway, all right, everyone, have a great day. If no one has anything, I'll just move along.
No one has anything. Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Call ended.
Serenity now. Serenity now. All right, I'm going to resist the urge just to hang up because this repetitiveness is mind numbing. But anyway, I'm just going to read to you the last, maybe not the full chapter, but the last chapter of Mike Mahoney's book. And remember, it came out in 2008. I think everything he's saying is more true today. True is true. So everything he's saying is true today as it was true then. This is from F.A. Hayek, The Road to Serfdom, 1944, a quote. Although history never quite repeats itself, and just because no development is inevitable, we can, in a measure, learn from the past to avoid a repetition of the same process. One need not be a prophet to be aware of impending dangers. An accidental combination of experience and interest will often reveal events to one man under aspects which few yet see. That's better than history never repeats itself. It rhymes. Okay, last chapter, summarizing the urgency of acting. Whether you like it or not, the empire of the United States of America is now in decline. Yes, the United States is an empire. Our military presence and might reaches around the globe, and the United States is the only nation on earth that, because of the dollar's status as the reserve currency of the world, the U.S. is the only country who has the ability to tax, through currency creation, all other nations on the globe. History, it seems, is always doomed to repeat itself, just as with empires before it, in the midst of increasing economic uncertainty, Americans have been participating in a fire sale of their freedoms in the process. It's written in 2008. Remember, it's the banksters doing this. It's Goldman Sachs. You might, oh, Trump's senile, he's old just like Biden. Oh, it's Kamala, not Kamala. Whatever. We can get lost in all these meaningless arguments, or we can recognize the banks have us by the short hairs. So Americans have been participating in a fire sale of their freedoms. It should be clear by now that the United States is no different than ancient Greece, Rome, or any other empire who funded its expansion through fiat currency creation. Public works, social programs, war, paid for by deficit spending, is a lethal mix. And it always has been. Throughout time, it has brought about the demise of empires. For this, and a myriad of other reasons, the dollar's days as the reserve currency of the world and your lifestyle, my lifestyle, and thus America's ability to dictate to the world economic policy through America's fiat currency creation are numbered. And Mike Mahoney is not the only lunatic saying so. During Ben Bernanke's testimony before Congress in 2007, at the end of the year, Senator Chuck Schumer, that genius, commented, quote, "Quite frankly, I think we are at a moment of economic crisis stemming from four key areas. Falling house prices, that's no longer true. Lack of confidence in creditworthiness, not sure that's currently true. The weak dollar, I guess that's still true. And high oil prices, that's not true. Each of these problems alone would be enough of a threat to our economic well-being. But taken together, they are essentially the four horsemen of economic crisis," unquote. Thank gosh for Chuck Schumer. I'm so glad he's in the Senate. Anyway, those four and other things are coming together. You know, we just we didn't do it. Our surrogate did. The Ukraine just attacked Moscow, the capital of the Soviet Union. We just attacked Moscow. Who's running this? This is what happens when you promote people too quickly because they check boxes. You get you don't have wisdom. Who would sanction or approve the attack of Moscow? Anyway, this is all bad news for the United States, but it is great news for precious metals and precious metals investors. Oh, it's terrible to say that. Yeah, but the United States government insists on destroying the prosperity the United States once enjoyed. We can't stop them. So what we can do is make the best of it, take advantage of it. There used to be a saying, put 10% of your money in gold and pray it doesn't work. Now this, according to Mike Mahoney, in his own strategy, and remember, he was 15 years early. 15 years early, approximately. Doesn't mean he's wrong. Mike Mahoney puts 50% to 70% in physical metals, 20% to 40% in mining stocks, and 5 to 10% in energy stocks. Okay. For the sake of the world standard of living, I pray it doesn't work. He says, I almost hope I go broke. But that's not going to happen. There is an enormous wealth transfer happening now, and it's going to get bigger. I wish it were not so. But the standard of living, especially in the United States, is about to fall dramatically. I wouldn't want to be a swan in a public park in the United States of America anymore. As the volatility and economic upheaval progresses, the wealth transfer will increase dramatically. Whether wealth is transferred toward you or away from you, it's up to you. It is your decision. The economy is going to become really bad for most people, but it could become good for you. Is it possible the dollar could fail? My own view, I agree with Jim Willey. I'm persuaded he's right that the dollar will actually at some point go up and then out. They'll meet around a desk and change the currency. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Fail or being retired, it's the same thing at the end of the day. Times are changing rapidly. Information, ideas, sentiment, knowledge, opinions, and understanding are changing more rapidly than at any other time in history, mostly attributable to the mass media and the internet. There is an enlightenment going on, and one of the areas of growing awareness and understanding is the immorality of currency creation and the wealth transfer it causes. It goes to the guy running Goldman Sachs. That's what happens. I forget his name again. I looked it up. I forgot it. They're all interchangeable. They're all white men, and they're rich beyond belief because wealth is transferring to Goldman Sachs. As more people wake up to the fact that currency silently steals wealth from them, and that's what I think I've been talking about it for 2 years. We've got to stop seeing our wealth as the black and white dollar number in our accounts. You have to start seeing the dollar and the assets you put it in as these waves. They go from low to high. And as they get high and you book profits, I would suggest 5, 10, 15% of profits should go into gold and silver and oil and other things. Go into your own life, the things you know. The best single thing you can do is pay off credit card debt. They're not going to let that. The banks will make sure they get their outrageous criminal returns on their money. That they lend you, they create the money out of thin air, lend it to you on your credit card, charge you annual fees, monthly fees, over limit fees, late payments fees, and they charge you 29% or whatever, depending on where you are. And if you go to Capital One, they lend you money $300 at a time, $500, $1,000. So each card has those annual fees and fees. And it's all on money they created out of thin air. Wealth transfers up to Blankenfield at Goldman Sachs. More than any other time in history, you can increase your standard of living exponentially during this upheaval without taking a whole lot of risk. Almost all the financial professionals, these are the ones where you have your brokerage account, wealth managers, will tell you that precious metals are not an investment, but a safe haven. Wealth insurance, if you will. There are, though, these ever so brief moments in history, and remember he was 15 years early, where gold and silver are simultaneously the safe haven insurance that your advisor will tell you, and the best informing investment class of the day, achieving massive gains in purchasing power, absolute purchase, when you adjust it for inflation. This time, and this was written 14 or so years ago, and the imbalances are even greater, This time, the coming wealth transfer is set against the backdrop of global imbalances which dwarf any that have come before, coupled with the fact that, for the first time, all the world's currencies are fiat. All of them are fiat. And they are all exhibiting signs of weakness, stress, cracks. In the global financial system. It is impossible for me, Mike Mahoney, to emphasize enough how incredibly rare this moment in time is. This is not just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It is a once-in-human existence opportunity, human existence that we know of. And it will never come again. The wealth transfer will be the likes of which the world has never seen. I'm not going out on a limb here if I say that if you don't take action, you will regret it for the rest of your life. I'm frustrated because I'm not completely ready for it. Some things happened in my life. So you can try to be prepared, and things can still leave you unprepared. But I think just knowing what's coming puts you ahead. It's if you know where you want to go, you're ahead of most of the idiots out there. Well, he's showing a chart, which I spoke to you yesterday about what Jim Rickards believes is using M2. I think it was M2, might have been M1. Anyway, using all the currency in circulation, that gold needs to be repriced to $27,000 an ounce to make some semblance of sanity in the dollar-based system. Mike Mahoney does a chart, 2008, that gold has to go to $7,000 an ounce. It's just same idea, different number, 15 years have passed. Okay, so here's some names of people who have talked this game for a long time, 20 years or longer. Richard Russell, Jim Paplava, Jim Rogers, and Mark Faber. I have listened to the first two, I believe, but I don't really have a vivid memory. But I've really read the books and studied Jim Rogers and Mark Faber and continue to do so. The person with average vision, and a lot of them come here to make fun of me, cannot see what these experts see, or what maybe you will be able to see. So these boo birds dismiss guys like me, calling me whatever they call me. But some people, as my friend used to say about me, can see around corners. Maybe I can. But a lot of it is being willing to study patterns, listen to people who are smarter than you are, and there's plenty of people smarter than I am. And it's unfortunate, this list is all men. It's all men, but there are some women. This one, I can see her face. darn it, I can't remember her name. I have a Biden brain, but her name is. I can see her face. It'll probably come to me. She's very good to listen to. I've already told you about the woman yesterday, Jambone, who does excellent interviews, but also in and of her own right, she is very intelligent. Daniela Cambron, very, and it's Annette. Anyway, she's very good, excellent. Um, uh, I'll try to come up with some women as well, because I know from experience that from someone I love and admire, she told me that it's not always easy for women to always have to listen to men. Can't we listen to women? And I said to her, "You think that's difficult? You should be a man having to listen to women." She smacked me on my cheek. No, she didn't do that. Okay, so there's some other men. James Turk, I've studied him. David Morgan, I've studied him. John Embry, I've studied him. Ten Butler, Ian Gordon. I don't recognize Ian Gordon's name. Doesn't mean I haven't studied him. These guys have all pictured what's coming. And then there's a couple of other names. I want to try to skip all this praise on these guys. All right, let's go here. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. It is the power which can be worn like a suit of armor. Truth can be a weapon which can be wielded like a sword, slicing through the propaganda and misinformation, laying them bare for all to see. Armed with these tools, I march headlong into the storm, not with fear, but with enthusiasm. You are now armed with this knowledge, while 99% of the population listens to Brian Seltzer, remains in the comfortable bliss that ignorance provides. Knowledge empowers you. You are well in front of the Hoid. I have often said that this period of time is like cresting the top of a highest peak in a roller coaster and staring down at the black void below. You can either be terrified or you can look forward to the thrills ahead. One day, the general public will finally wake up and discover that they too were on the back of the roller coaster. Or only they, only they will not know where they are, where they're going. They will be disoriented, confused, and terror will grip them as they crest the top of the highest peak and glimpse for the first time the black void which will engulf them. When the roller coaster reaches the bottom of the void, the general public will become desperate for precious metals. That, by the way, is when you sell. And in their panic, they'll rush to buy gold and silver. They will offer you their goods, their fans only page. No, he didn't know about those. Their goods, their services, and investments at fire sale values. By selling your gold and silver, and I think oil, water, natural gas, copper, land, when the public needs it the most, the full weight of the wealth transfer will have been completed, and you will have done well. Then, with your new fortune of real estate, stocks, other assets that only you know about, sorry, you can ride the next big economic wave up. Everything runs in waves and cycles, and history just repeats and repeats. Gold and silver have revalued themselves throughout the centuries and called on fiat paper to account for itself. In doing so, gold and silver bring fraudulent money to justice. They have always done this, and they always will. It is as certain as the sunrise. All right, so you've gone through that book with me, and I appreciate it. It's 1:14. Let me see what the stocks are. I'll check some of your things there, but I'm going to sign off early because I haven't eaten. I've got some things to do, and that just drained me. I get drained listening to the same thing over and over again. Every stock that we're following is down, except CRTD is up a penny. But don't get suckered in. Don't get suckered in. Well, do what you want to do. I'm not giving you. You can do what you want. Two planes hit each other. Two Delta planes collided in Atlanta. That's an airport I go through all the time. I told you, I brought to your attention that we attacked Moscow through our surrogate Ukraine. This is scary stuff, but no one's scared yet. And we'll leave the politics out. For those of you who support Kamala Harris, I think she's going to be well prepared tonight. And regardless of what happens, the mainstream media is going to be very supportive of her and say Trump is a big ogre. So they're already putting polls out that Kamala leads Trump in North Carolina. I'm sure they're going to have truckloads of pre-printed ballots trucked into Philadelphia election night. So I think we all have to get ready for a Kamala Harris presidency. And it's easy to say don't talk politics, but that's going to have a big impact on our lives. And I think she will embrace the complete idiocy of modern monetary theory, which her administration has already embraced. And it's going to make it more important that you take some steps to protect yourself. Government is the intersection of the incompetent and the incapable. There's some good people in government. My dad was in government. He was quite competent. But maybe as a general rule. And Jeff, I haven't been impressed with businesses. Look at General Electric. They destroyed the Hudson River by dropping, I think it was PCPs in it, and so the fish the water itself is poisoned. So I'm not sure businesses are any kind of model of human uh, competence and capability. But that's just my opinion. Hey, Connie. Is my blood pressure okay? Your face is flush. I don't know. Maybe not. Um, I take losartan every day, and but yeah, maybe I better look into that. I don't know, Super G. I don't know the answer. I don't feel under any stress, and I don't feel any pressure, but maybe you don't feel that. So I'll go in and get a blood measure. Thank you, Barbara. What's my timeline? I don't know. It's when the panic happens. I believe that the stock market right now is going to go to all-time highs. I think the Dow could go as high as 60,000. Don't wait for it. The S&P 7,500. I just think you're going to see another 30, 40, 50% rally in the markets over the next month to 6 months. And it's going to get everybody involved. But that's a time maybe you can make some money with a trade. I don't know. But that's the time to get out while everyone else is insane as these prices go to new highs. You got to get out, in my judgment. And that's when to start building your positions as you want to. It can be cash flows off of oil and gas. It can be gold, silver, platinum, palladium. It can be miners. It can be farmland, land. It can be cash. Cash is a perfect place to be for the hard landing, because I think there's going to be a hard landing in this world. And I think the markets, I predicted this 20 some years ago, to the shock and the looks of what an idiot. I said it years ago to my friends at Morgan Stanley. That what if, I asked, the markets round tripped, and they looked at me as if I had completely lost my mind. And sure enough, the market's done nothing but go straight up since. But I think the overall market measurements, the indexes, could be down. I'll go further than most people. I think they could be down 90% or more, in fact. And it's going to be scary for people. But if you have moved your money, and cash will give you an ability to come in and buy, maybe buy other things, but you just plan. And you say how soon? I have no idea how soon. I thought it was going to be a decade ago. And I think what interrupted the move was Bitcoin. But I also think the manipulation of the banks, while the rich, the Blankenfeins and the Blacks and the Griffins, while they control government spending, government debt, and as that gets expanded, they take those paper dollars created out of thin air, they turn them into dollars, and then they turn it into yachts, land, islands, and all manner of real things. And that's what's been going on. Maybe they stretched it out. But it's just really a question of what's coming next. I think that the powers that be are going to make sure that Kamala Harris is our president. I think we are going to go to war. Are we going to win that war? How? How are we going to win a war against China, who can build things? We can't build anything. against Russia, who has all of the resources in the world, an educated population, a booming economy, and they have hypersonic missiles. China has hypersonic missiles, apparently better than Russia's. Can we win 3 wars at the same time? We, you know, people out here get offended. They need to go in their safe space when you point out there's an XY chromosome. Are we going to win wars? I don't know. It depends on that. But if we win, then our dollar will be okay and gold and silver will be suppressed. But anyway, I don't know when. I think we have time, but I also think that that ideas like this, they're not new. Everyone knows them. And so right now, all the investment managers are trying to imitate each other, stay in the top quintile of performance, get their bonuses. That means own NVIDIA, own Apple, own Alphabet, own the banks, own Pfizer, whatever. And they're going to do that right through October, right through November, book their performance, book their bonus, but then as they come around the corner in January, what are they going to do? My prediction: energy, commodities, precious metals, base metals. There's going to be, particularly if we go to war, there's going to be a reindustrialization of America immediately. If Kamala is our president, we have 20 million and counting new people who mostly don't speak English, who have not been screened for health, but we need to get them working because she's going to make them United States citizens. One place to work is the reindustrialization of America. But we're also going to become a police state. As these gangs maraud and shut down our highways, people, women in America who have equal rights as men. One of the rights women feel, as an old guy like me does as well, I can get in a car and I can drive from D.C. to Cincinnati safely. I can pull off into a truck station. I can go into a McDonald's. I can buy gasoline. I can pull off to a rest stop, get a cup of coffee, wash my hands, get back. I can even take a nap. If I need to take a 1-hour nap in my car, I can do that. It's all safe. That safety is going to disappear as Venezuelan gangs and other gangs realize with their guns they can stop traffic, rob, rape, pillage on our highways. And we can't do anything about it. We take this for granted, but it's coming. So part of our reindustrialization will become a police state. We'll have armies and larger enforcement organizations manned and womaned by maybe by migrants. I don't know. But it's all coming, and it's all going to need iron, and it's going to be a complete change in how we live. But anyway, I hope everyone votes for Kamala. Vote early, vote often. Apparently by October 15th, the election will be over because of all the mail-in votes. And I hope you get what you're looking forward to. You don't want mean tweets. You don't want a misogynist. You don't want a racist. You don't want an anti-Semite like Donald Trump. someone that's just so mean. So you're going to get a world envisioned by a complete idiot in terms of knowledge, in terms of background. She dated a married man and she got appointed each step of the way. And she's done it by playing victimhood when she grew up wealthy or upper middle class. She lived with her Caucasian mother and family. She was estranged from her father. She married a white man. Men have always lifted her up her whole way. But hey, vote for her. Vote for her. Because it's time. Time to get a woman in there. That's the only reason. You can overlook everything else. And she's never mean. She wasn't mean to Kavanaugh. She's never arrogant in debates. She never lies. Trump's a liar, but Kamala Harris never lies. I don't know. You're going to get what you want. And what you want ain't good as far as I can tell. I hope you're right, Clark. I hope they can't. I think the markets, Clark, are going to rally either way. I think there's so much liquidity out there, and the Fed is going to come in support of Kamala. I think the markets, it doesn't matter who wins. The markets are going up, in my opinion. I do think it matters who wins if you don't want to be in World War III. I do think that matters. But anyway, I'm not going to convince you. You hate Trump, you love Kamala, and you're not going to change your mind. But I think when she's president, there'll be an acceleration towards what I'm talking about. And it's just basically, if we're at war, we're going to have to build out tanks and jeeps and things like that. Maybe she'll just cooperate with China, and we won't be at war. That's possible, I guess. Then I'll be wrong. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna sign off and go get something to eat. Good luck tonight watching the debate. Be kind to your neighbors and your family. The great thing about the United States, we can all have different opinions. We can all see things differently. But we all agree this is a free country. We all agree on that. And we can start there. We can start that we all believe it's a free country. And then we can build back our strong, common identity again. Peace.